Joining us to discuss, former Assistant Secretary of State General Mark Kimmitt. Talk more about that. General, thanks for the time. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, Carl.
What do you make of Israel's response? How forceful could it get?
It can get extremely forceful. I think at this point, we're just seeing the first preparations for a further action. They're doing some precision bombing strikes. They probably have intelligence assets inside of Gaza right now. They're bringing in the frontline troops to get ready. So I think they're prepared, but I don't think they've made the political decision to invade Gaza right now.
That kind of urban warfare would be incredibly dangerous and difficult. What are the arguments for and against?
Well, the main argument against is not only it's urban warfare, but it's urban warfare, and Gaza holds about 100 Israeli and American hostages. So anything that Israel does could be completely set aside by if, in fact, hostages are put at risk because of that. We also, even if they do conduct an invasion, it is well known that Hamas will use the hostages as human shields. So I think that's the major constraint on this entire operation is the presence of over 100 hostages being held by Hamas.
In the past, General, they certainly have not wanted to occupy Gaza. I mean, the most bellicose prime minister they had, Ariel Sharon, is the one who pulled out. Is it still hard for you to imagine, or do you think that circumstances have changed so much the Israelis would once again consider occupying?
Well, at the political level, they are certainly talking about ridding Gaza of all Hamas leadership and reoccupying. I think the military is probably fighting hard against that. Not only is urban warfare tough, but when you're conducting an occupation among a hostile population, that's just a prescription for long-run disaster, both at the military level and at the diplomatic and regional level.
And, General, one of the biggest criticisms of the events that unfolded over the weekend was just that, you have the perhaps best resource national security apparatus in the entire world that had a very clear breakdown that led to some vulnerabilities allowing these attacks to take place. What is your expectation in terms of their ability to wage, a counterattack in the region in a pointed manner?
Well, I don't think there'll be a counterattack in the region. I think there'll be a counterattack into Gaza. We're going to do everything, and Israel is going to do everything to make sure this does not become a regional conflict, bringing in militant groups from Syria, Hezbollah from Lebanon, possibly West Bank militants, and possibly even al-Qaeda down in the Sinai. But you can be sure that Israel is conducting nothing but intelligence operations right now, what we call intelligence preparation of the battlefield, alongside those precision strikes they're doing on key Hamas headquarters.
But speaking of a larger potential conflagration, if Iran is found to have aided and abetted this attack definitively, what do we do as the U.S. and what does Israel do, and what is the likelihood, therefore, that you have significant hostilities with Iran?
Yeah, that's a million-dollar question, David. Look, the Iranian Revolutionary Guards Corps has been using proxy operations against the region and against the United States inside of Iraq for years and years. They're experts at this. They operate inside of Iraq. They operate inside of Syria, Yemen. This is old-school work for the IRGC, and I think that's why you see what a success this has been from Hamas into Israel, because of the advisors that nobody will admit yet, but certainly everybody understands we're advising Hamas. Now, whether this reaches the level of direct attacks or confrontation against Iran is yet to be seen. Again, back here, that's a political decision, certainly not a military decision. I don't think any military officer would want to take that order, but they will fulfill it if given to them.